gardens goes up and down. It waters the plants constantly so they grow faster. Benefits of tower garden. A better way to grow. The tower garden provides many fruits and veggies for us. The difference is tower garden's fruits and veggies are better for you than regular grown produce. Faster growth. Did you know that plants in the tower garden grow 3 times faster than regular gardens? In as little as 5 weeks, you can have a fully grown tower garden. See how fast it goes? Yeah. No added herbicides or pesticides. Herbicides are weed-killing chemicals. Pesticides are insect-killing chemicals. Eating chemicals is yucky. Less water. The tower garden uses 98% less water than normal crops. Aeroponic. Our tower garden is aeroponic, but what does aeroponic even mean? Any guesses? Yes?
I forget.
Soil. What? Soil? What do you mean by soil? Dirt? I don't know what you mean by dirt. Does it grow in the dirt? Or what are you talking about? The soil.
I think what he's saying is he thinks aeroponic is growing fruits and vegetables in soil.
It's not touching like the surface of the ground. It's just like good try. If plants are aeroponic, they are grown without soil and they are grown in the air. Because this is not growing in soil, it's grown in something else. I forget what it's called.
It's called rock wool. Each plant is inside of a pod, and the plants are growing out of the rock wool. Which,
But if the bigger plants are growing in the things, but like what if how do the roots stretch out?
do you want to answer that, Miss Llewellyn?
They don't really stretch out. They only need that amount of space.
Well, the roots are inside this cylinder, so they're growing through the pod.
And you'll learn a little more about that.
Do you have an illustration or photo to show them
Of what?
of what the roots look like as they grow through the pod? If not, we'll show them.
I have like in the next slide something. It's not that, but it's a little different.
Okay.
Okay. What is the tower garden made of? The tower garden is made of food-grade plastic. The plants grow in little holes. On the bottom, there's a big container that holds the water. It's a big container. It's made of food-grade plastic, and the roots are in those little holes inside the tower garden. How do the plants get water? This is what I was talking about. The roots will really be right here. This thing goes up, then it rains down, and the roots will be right here. So it rains down on the roots, and then the water goes here, and it gives the plants water, and it just keeps doing that.
Right, so point again to where the roots are growing.
Like right here.
You see that? They're growing inside the
And
tower.
then, if you see, it rained down on my fingers, and that's where the roots would be. And then it would go up to the flower, or whatever you're growing, and it would give it water, and it just keeps doing that, and it goes that's why it goes 3 times faster. As you can see, the water in the big container goes up to the top of the tower garden through a tube. Then it rains down on the plant's roots. The water goes back to the big container. This repeats continuously. Any questions? Yes?
How how long does it take for the water to go up to the top of it?
I don't really know that answer.
Not long. It's every 45 minutes, it rains down on them, it recycles the water through the pump for about 15 minutes. Continuously waters the plants for 15 minutes.
It's 96% less water, too. How many plants can we grow in it? How many are we growing right now, Mrs. Solik? I don't know. I didn't write.
28 plants.
Yeah, we're growing 28 plants, so I think that's how many plants we can grow. Any other questions? Like, how long does it take for like the seeds to start sprouting? Remember in the last slide, like 5 weeks? About 5 weeks. It doesn't take very long sometimes. It depends on what plants you have.
How much leaves does it grow a day?
I don't know. It goes by, with that chart went by weeks. I don't know how many, like I don't know how it is by daily.
Do you like put like like ladybugs or like any insects that protect the plants or something?
That's a good question. Go ahead, Marley. What were you going to
Well, we're growing it inside. There's no bugs inside, so you can grow it outside. And there might be bugs there, but I highly doubt it.
No, like what if like some like
Are you saying, in other words, like there are bugs that are good for the plants, like ladybugs might eat the aphids, right?
Yeah.
And inside, that the aphids would be as much of a problem, so we don't need the ladybugs to eat them. But we have had some problems inside that we were surprised by, like we got powdery mildew on the plants. That's usually something that happens outside. And because of the powdery mildew, we had to pull a lot of our plants that aren't there anymore, like the zucchini.
Can you basically like I have 2 questions. Can you basically make as like many like of those little holes as you want to put the plants in? Or is there a certain amount that you can do, or can you like make some yourself for them to grow out of?
I think it came together, right?
We had to put the tower together, but there are a preset number of pods for the plants to grow through in there.
Yeah,
We can't create new holes or new
When it
ports.
comes in, if you can see there's a line there, that's one part, and the pod just came with it. We didn't put them in.
And like how big would you say how big do you think like a plant like that's like the dwarf green hill like could grow like how is there like do some grow like about like do some grow certain amounts a day, or do they all grow like the same height like for a day?
I don't really know the answer to that question.
They pretty much grow at different rates depending on the plant, and also
what time you
depending
put
on
in.
the conditions in where it's growing. Like if it was growing closer to the window where the sunlight is, it might grow faster.
Yeah.
Mr. Bigley upstairs has a tower garden. He's growing some of the same plants as us, and some are growing faster than ours, and some are growing slower than ours. So it really depends. If a plant hasn't really grown after about 3 weeks, sometimes we just pull it and start
Yeah,
again.
that happened to the strawberries. Do we still have the strawberries?
No, the strawberries didn't do well, and also if you see the rosemary, do you see the rosemary which is
Yeah.
at the top?
Yeah.
That was planted in November,
What?
and it's never been cut, and look how small it is. Whereas the let's see, the tomato, which is on the bottom and it's wrapped all the way around the cage,
Yeah.
that was planted at the same time, and look how big it is.
Wow.
Yeah, they grow at different rates.
Are you like once a month? Sometimes you have to like put more water into it, or does it just make water itself?
We have to put more water into it, and it recycles itself. We also have to test the water by adding a liquid to it and then seeing what color it is on a pH scale.
That's right. We have to test the pH and make sure that the water is balanced that we're feeding into the plants. So we test the pH. If the pH is too high, we add acid to it. If it's too low, we add chemical that's the base to it. And we also feed the plants a mineral blend once a week, just like you have to feed your dog or your cat or your goldfish.
What's it?
Can you have bigger ones of those?
Bigger ones? What do you mean?
Like
taller
yeah.
ones? Like taller.
taller
Like
and
tall.
wider.
Um,
Can you add on other ones of the stats?
The levels?
Yeah, and if you get another pack, another one, can you put that on top of that one or no?
Well, I think we can if we get another set, but we're not going to get another set. And I don't think you can get it bigger. Can you make it bigger?
I'm not 100% certain, but I think that's the tallest it could be. I could be wrong though. You might be able to put another level on, but it wouldn't get any wider.
And it's tall enough now because I'm 4 feet and it's bigger than me.
Right.
So it's probably about 5.
Do you know why the lights are around it? Miss Llewellyn, you want to call on somebody?
Yeah, the lights are supposed to be like the sun. They kind of heat up the plants like the sun. It's because
And
rainy days you don't have sun, but you still have the lights.
do some of them grow at different times?
Yes, I already said what they
Okay.
Okay, let's take about 3 more questions.
So you guys can grow fruit and vegetables on that?
Yeah, you can grow anything you want. You can grow herbs, you can grow flowers, you can grow anything. Oh wow.
You can't grow things though that like potatoes
Yeah,
or carrots.
Yeah, you can't grow things that grow in the ground.
No root vegetables.
Or it's like that watermelon.
Yeah, you can't grow carrots. Carrots come out.
But that would be great. I can smell it.
What about an apple?
Nope, can't grow an apple.
This apple's growing trees. I have 2 questions. My first one is, which is the biggest plant? What do you think is the biggest plant right now? I think it's the tomato, but
I would have to agree, the tomato is pretty big. We've got some interesting plants on here. This one up here that's hanging from the ceiling, we have a few of those. Those are actually burgundy beans.
Oh, is that?
So they're like green beans, but they're very dark color purple. They were just planted recently. And if you look really carefully, I can't really get it on my iPad. Marley, I don't know if you can show them on the broccoli where the little broccoli florets are growing.
I see it.
Yeah,
I can see them.
So we have a couple of purple, the burgundy beans and some broccoli florets, and we've had some cherry tomatoes grow on there too. But the tomato plant is the largest one.
Sometimes if our plants like the strawberry didn't go very well, we just take them out and plant new ones so we can get more produce.
Can you grow snap peas?
I don't know. Yes, you can. My second question. Oh wait. My second question was going to be, how much did it cost to get that? I don't know really. I didn't buy it.
Well, We actually got, I think, another level or two, without the extra 2 levels and without the cage that's around it and without the grow lights. It's about $500.
Hopefully,
It costs
But-
a lot of money.
But if you think about it, think of all the money that you would be saving down the line instead of having to run to the supermarket, Wegmans or the Giant. You could just go into your kitchen or wherever you have your tower garden and
Oh,
pick
there's
your
a-
greens
there's a
all year round.
there's a bug. There's a little spider
Mhm.
on
Well, spiders are good.
oh,
Take one more question.
it's like a little dog.
I have 2.
Pick your better question.
Okay. Would you use like the broccoli? Would they use it for lunch? We actually did make a meal out of this and gave it to the people, a family in need. And we use up most of our produce, so we planted more. But I don't know why. I don't think we used the broccoli with that. Did we use the broccoli yet?
No, because the last time, once a month, we make a meal for a Willow family in need. But the broccoli hadn't sprouted yet the last time we made a meal. But we're gonna be making another one on April 5th. So maybe we'll take a picking off around that time. We also, last week, had a smoothie challenge, and they had mystery bags. They had to pick one green mystery bag, one mystery bag that contained a juice, and one mystery bag that contained a mystery fruit. And then once they got back to their groups, they blended them together in a blender with ice, and they made a smoothie. And even if they had like spinach or kale and were mixing it together with strawberries and pineapple and coconut juice, it still tasted good.
Yeah.
Right, Marley?
We thought it was going to be disgusting, but we actually tried it and we're like, oh wow, this is good.
Yeah, so sometimes fruits and vegetables can be really good together. All right, can you give a round of applause for our teacher, Ms. Llewellyn? Oh, there's a bunch of tower gardens. You like that? Out in, oh, did you want to say something else? Go ahead, Ms. Llewellyn.
I hope you enjoyed learning about the tower garden.
Fantastic. And by the way, guys, there are some restaurants, like, have any of you ever been to Gio's? Where they use tower gardens, like here, this might be, there's a restaurant in New York, in Manhattan, that has a roof garden with a bunch of tower gardens, and they use all of the greens for their salads and different entrees that they prepare in their restaurant. So, thank you for coming today.